Now, the South African Banking Risk Information Centre has identified toll gates as one of the main hotspots for card cloning. But since the recent update of payment methods at toll gates, motorists are apparently a lot safer when it comes to their bank cards. For more on this, let's speak now to cybersecurity expert Loyiso Boyce, who joins us now. Loyiso, it's a good afternoon to you. Happy Easter indeed. Thank you so much for the time. Let's just talk about how this fraud was actually working already. Was this cloning just as you swiped your card or handed over your card and they would swipe it at these toll roads and toll gates?
Thank you. Good Friday. Good afternoon to the viewers. Thank you for reaching out. Because, I have to be careful because we get involved in actual investigations where there have been breaches or incidents of a digital nature.
Yeah.
So in answering the question, please allow me to answer in the context of how do people exploit these type of things in other instances. I don't want to talk about this particular toll road with this bank, XYZ happened,
100%.
but I can talk to you broadly as to methodologies and how we can avoid. Is that okay?
Yeah, 100%. Please go ahead.
I have an onion here. Red onion, standard onion. Why do I have onions? Onions have layers. Same thing that I want people to consider, right? When you open an onion, you have all these layers till you get all the way inside.
Yeah.
When you look at your cybersecurity, people, tools, processes. In this context, the tools I'm talking about is your card. So please make sure, because this is not a new problem, banks have gone ahead, especially in South Africa, and they've increased the security on some of our cards. If you don't have a card this day that is both chip and PIN, you are flirting with disaster, you are asking for problems. That's the one. Two, we've heard about this, the issue of card skimmers. So in any place where you're going to be swiping your card, I know it's not an easy thing to do, but if you can touch that device where you're going to be putting your card, make sure it's sturdy, it's not loose, there's nothing there. That's something that I want people to look at. So get the right card, make sure your PIN number is strong, and ensure that where you are interacting with a terminal, you've done a basic assessment of what does it look like. It's not in a dodgy area, it's not too dark, it's not all broken, it looks maintained. I said tools, processes. When we go to restaurants, what started happening lately is, back in the day, we used to give our cards to people that go to their bag, swipe it, and then come back.
Yeah.
That has changed.
Yeah.
They now bring the machine up to the front. Even if you give them a chip and PIN card, you are swiping right in front of them. That's about the processes, right? Be cognizant of the processes that you partake in that either make you a bit more at risk or they secure a little bit more. Unfortunately, this is going to sound crazy coming from an IT guy. Cash is not a bad thing. If you are going to be driving on a toll where they don't have those, on a toll road or toll route where you can't tap your card from the outside, if you know you're going to be traveling, plan ahead and make sure you have some cash where you're not going to, when you suspect you're going to lose sight of your card. I said people. This is a great chat that we're having. People are listening, people are watching. I showed the onions intentionally. Once again, I want people, whenever they see an onion, to remember about the layers of cybersecurity. People have to empower themselves to do better. When you are driving a car on the road, you check your tires, you drive according to the speed limit. You don't play with your phone, you put on your seatbelt in case something happens. Same thing happens. We can't be on the digital information superhighway without any seatbelts. So people need to keep learning. I love that this show is talking about the risks that are happening. People must make sure that they're aware of what's happening out there. I think in most instances, whether it's a toll road or you are going to a B&B somewhere or a restaurant or to the beach and you'll be spending money with your family, if you apply those principles, you should be better secure than most people. That will make for easier targets.
Loyiso, as we use your onion then as the metaphor for this, because that seems to be the case in point here, with each layer, you also still have a layer in which that security can be broken by assailants, by people wanting to, of course, break through. So every layer has its own security apparatus which you then need to worry about. So as people hit the roads this Easter, how much more vulnerable do they become to each layer within your onion?
Well, think about it, right? I said processes, right? I spoke about people being cognizant of the fact, one, learning and understanding that they are at higher risk. But think about it. You're driving to the north, you've been on the road for 3-4 hours, your card is sitting there. Are you in the right space to think about these things? Criminals know this. They know people are tired. Yeah, as we are showing now on TV, the queues are long. It's hot. So unfortunately, the only thing I can say is do not allow yourself to get lulled into a false sense of security. Do not allow it. Same thing when it's December, the types of tricks and techniques that people use will be centered around Christmas. When it's tax season, you get SMSs and emails saying your tax refund is due. Lotto is always popular. Just understand, I said tools, processes, and people. The unemployment rate in SA is extremely high. Understand that people are desperate. It's not that they are bad people. Some people are just desperate. So mind your card, mind your wallet, lock the doors, just maintain a high state of vigilance. That's the best I can say to you, because unfortunately, there are many techniques, there are many tools. In this interview that we've been talking in now, probably 1 or 2 new tools have been released into the market for bad actors to play with. If you keep your card on yourself, your devices on yourself, and then you remain with a risk-aware posture, you will never be fully secure, ever, right? Whether you're government or businesses with huge budgets, banks, they know they are not fully secure. The Onion, we sit in boardrooms, we use this example. I brought it here for a reason, because we do the same thing in business and government. If you have the best tool, but you lapse, you are going to be compromised. If you are unfortunately, if you have somebody that is particularly desperate, that is willing to do things that are more uncommon to get your device, there are very few things that you can do. But this is why also this day and age we have cyber insurance, right? So I would recommend that make sure that your bank has good policies around what happens should there be suspected fraud on your cards and your accounts. I can tell you this for free, not all banks are equal in this regard. So do your research on the bank that will work with you should you find yourself compromised.
So what happens though? I'm preparing myself for the breach of a brown onion. It happens to unfortunately be the red onion in itself, unfortunately, that actually gets a breach in this case then. Is there enough public education around what needs to happen for what in order to educate people so that they know these surroundings that they're in, the areas in which they're involved in ultimately, and of course those particular rings that come through with regards to an onion, for example?
Arabile, no. So life is not fair. If you are more affluent and you have a smartphone and you have some banking apps, some of the banks will give you awareness information. If you work for a company with a budget, I know that a lot of companies that we work with and government, they have active cybersecurity awareness training programs. Those are great because yes, they secure the business, but those skills are transferable in life as well. So unfortunately, I don't really have a good answer for you. If you are prepared for a brown onion and a red onion catches you, please make sure you have some form of protection, right? I indicated that in this particular instance, talking about cards, choose a bank with strong anti-fraud support, but do your part as well. But I can tell you this, every country, most companies, most departments, they're spending hundreds of millions, they're spending billions on protecting their environment, they're still getting compromised. It's highly unfortunate. So that's why I'm saying, from an education perspective, if you are not getting it from your bank or from your company, I would like to challenge, I'd like to thank you for carrying this topic. I'd like to challenge other media houses to ensure that from time to time, yes, you do health shows, yes, you do focus shows on particular topics. I don't see many shows about protecting people in the information superhighway, right? We're talking about swiping cards now. The same actors are targeting our parents, they're targeting our kids. So if we can start ensuring that we are cyber aware, the same principles, tell your parents about the onion, tell your kids about your onion, they'll apply it in their world as well. So it's not enough information. Bad actors know this. More and more of us are going online. Government is pushing for e-services, pay your bill online, do this online, and we are not doing as much education. We need a Soul City for the digital citizens. No one had the AIDS problem. Soul City, government really made a plan. We need the same thing for digital citizens. The sad thing is, when we finish this interview, I'm going to be getting calls and SMSs. Hey, Loyiso, ugogo wami got an SMS. They took her money. Hey, Loyiso, my small business closed because of this. Hey, Loyiso, it is going to happen. It happens all the time, unfortunately.
Awareness going to be a very critical tool here. Look, Loyiso, appreciate the time. Thank you so much. I mean, our vegetable conversation has certainly shown some growth, particularly from the ground up. It's also been a very healthy conversation for all our viewers. Hopefully, they'll all be a whole lot more aware. Cybersecurity expert Loyiso Boyce there, helping us unpack credit card fraud and card fraud in general across the country. Let's move on to this now. Worshippers from various churches across Durban gathered for the 40th annual Good Friday service that's organized by Diakonia Council of Churches. This year's theme, United in Hope for a Better World, emphasized collective action towards social justice and unity. Despite heavy rainfall, attendees remained undeterred, participating in a silent procession once the skies cleared. Nobuhle Modise reports.
The tradition of Durban's Good